Have you ever said something and immediately regretted it? Not because it was untrue, but because it closed a door, damaged trust, or made someone shut down? Intelligent people rarely get tripped up by facts. They get tripped up by how they frame their truth. Today, we're diving into 8 phrases truly intelligent people avoid, and why these words carry more weight than you think. Phrase number 1. I'm not trying to be rude, but sounds harmless, right? But the moment you say this, your words are already wearing armor. It's a verbal disclaimer, like putting up a danger sign before tossing a grenade. What follows is usually something blunt, critical, or outright harsh. And the phrase itself, it doesn't soften the blow, it telegraphs it. I'm not trying to be rude, but your idea makes no sense. I'm not trying to be rude, but you always overreact. This kind of statement doesn't just undermine the message, it makes the speaker seem defensive and passive-aggressive. In philosophy, Socrates believed that how you speak reflects your internal order. If you lead with disclaimers, you're not communicating. You're just bracing for backlash. Instead, try, can I offer a different perspective? Would it be all right if I share some honest feedback? These phrases invite dialogue instead of triggering defenses. It's not just about what you say, it's about the intelligence of your delivery. Phrase number 2. You're wrong. 2 words, a wall goes up, the conversation dies. When you say you're wrong, you're not opening a discussion. You're declaring war on someone's identity. We forget that most people don't cling to opinions because they're right. They cling because those beliefs protect them from uncertainty. Philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." So when you tell someone they're wrong, you shut down any space for reflection or growth. Instead, try. That's interesting. Have you considered this angle? What led you to that view? I'd love to understand. These statements shift the tone from confrontation to curiosity. You're not attacking, you're exploring, and that is a mark of emotional intelligence. Phrase number 3, I told you so. This one may feel sweet, but it's a poisoned fruit. Saying, I told you so, isn't about being right. It's about being superior. It's the verbal equivalent of rubbing salt into someone's wound, then claiming you were just helping. Even if you predicted the outcome, this phrase kills trust and humiliates. It doesn't matter if you're right. What matters is, can people learn with you without fear of shame? The Stoics would remind us, true wisdom is silent in victory. You don't need to announce it. You need to guide with humility. Instead, try. I had a feeling this might happen. Want to talk about what we can learn from it? That's a bridge, not a burn. Phrase number 4. That's just the way I am. Let's set the scene. You're in a disagreement. Someone offers feedback, maybe even gently, and the response, that's just the way I am. It sounds like self-awareness, but it's actually a dead end. Philosopher Heraclitus said, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. The intelligent know that change is not only possible, it's inevitable. To resist growth is to resist life itself. When someone says, that's just the way I am, what they often mean is, I'm not willing to grow. I'm comfortable in my limitations. Say this instead, I'm working on that. Or, that's something I want to improve. Even if you're not sure how, the willingness opens doors, the ego slams shut. Phrase number 5, there's nothing I can do. Imagine a man locked in a cell. He tells himself, there's nothing I can do. And so, he waits. But then you realize, the door, it was never locked. He never even tried. This phrase is a trap, a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the pain of effort. Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist, argued that we are condemned to be free, meaning you always have a choice. Even if it's only an attitude, you still hold that final power. When we say, "There's nothing I can do," what we often mean is, "There's nothing easy I can do." But intelligence isn't about choosing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary. Say this instead: what small action can I take right now? Even the smallest act can pierce the fog of helplessness. Phrase number 6, you always or you never. These phrases are subtle assassins. They appear in arguments, feedback, and emotional outbursts. You always interrupt me. You never listen. The problem? They're absolute. They accuse someone's entire identity, not just a single action. And once someone feels labeled, they stop listening. They start defending. In philosophy, Aristotle believed in the golden mean, the idea that truth often lies between extremes. You always and you never are extreme distortions. They don't seek resolution, they seek power. Instead say, sometimes when that happens, I feel unheard. Can we work on this together? This isn't weakness. This is language that seeks connection, not domination. Phrase number 7, it's not my fault. It's a reflex, a defense, a way to escape judgment. But this phrase kills growth and buries accountability. Blaming external forces may protect your ego in the short term, but it builds a weak internal compass. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Blame is a power leak. It says, I have no control here. But intelligent people know, even if something isn't your fault, your response is your responsibility. Instead say, here's what I could have done better. What can I do now to help fix this? That's not weakness. That's power, because power begins where blame ends. Phrase number 8, I don't care what people think. Ah, yes, the anthem of the strong-minded, the Declaration of Independence. But here's the twist. The people who say this the most often care the most. They've just given up trying to manage it in a healthy way. Philosopher Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Saying, I don't care what people think, is often a defense mechanism. It's like putting on armor, but refusing to admit you're wearing it. Intelligent people know this. Other people's opinions do matter, just not all of them. If you truly didn't care what anyone thought, you wouldn't learn, connect, or evolve socially. Caring is human, but discernment is where the wisdom lies. Say this instead, I choose whose opinions I value and why. Now you are in control, not their judgment, not your fear. Now, we said we would give you 8, but here is a bonus. Phrase number 9, they're just lucky. This one, it hurts to hear, doesn't it? We see someone thriving, successful, respected, and instead of asking how, we shrug and say, they just got lucky. What we're really saying is, they didn't work for it. I don't need to try, because I'll never get that lucky. Nietzsche warned us about this mindset. He believed most people avoid taking responsibility for greatness. Why? Because it would force them to confront their own potential. If we admit that success comes from discipline, strategy, and effort, then we're faced with a painful truth. We could have done more. Luck exists, yes. But intelligent people understand this. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And if opportunity never comes, maybe you haven't prepared enough. Say this instead, I admire their effort. What can I learn from their path? This mindset turns envy into energy, So there they are, 9 phrases intelligent people never say. Not because they don't feel the urge, but because they know words shape reality. And careless phrases can burn bridges, dim minds, and silence hearts. Speak with awareness, lead with humility, and never forget, language is the mirror of thought. Now tell me, have you ever caught yourself saying one of these? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. Let's grow together. And if you found this helpful, subscribe to Grandpa Mindset, where ancient wisdom meets modern clarity.